What's going on, guys? Aaron and Mark back here for the CGL Podcast, talking about gaming in Colorado, esports, gaming over the world. We know right now we got the Fortnite World Cup going.
How we do.
So that's the first thing we're gonna jump into is that Fortnite World Cup, man. It's $40 million in prizes over the course of it, bruh.
Has there ever been any other game that's had that big of a prize pool?
Yes and no, because when you hear the 40 million, right, you're like, oh, well, the winner gets 40 million, but that's not really what it is. It's $1 million a week for April, May, and June. So
Yeah, I know.
So there's like, I think half of that, I think like 20 million goes out to like semifinals, finals, between singles and duos, and then I'm not 100% sure.
Well, I know.
I think the
one of my buddies, his
get-
duo partner, got like $150 for placing. In something. So it's like,
Yeah,
you're getting like,
if you
something.
qualify for semifinals at all, you get money, and then if you qualify for the top 8 finals, at 8th gets like $5,000 guaranteed.
Right.
So it's crazy, bro, and it's funny because we've
Lots
got
of money.
the group chat on Instagram, where we keep everybody up.
Yep.
And we got into it a little bit the other day because everybody's
Oh, yeah.
everybody's of the opinion that if it wasn't for this $40 million and Worlds, that that Fortnite would be dead, and that's just crazy to think. I think one of the big things that that we've talked about over the course of everything is Fortnite versus Apex. Is Apex the Fortnite killer? Is Fortnite just always going to be around? And Apex has definitely lost a lot of steam since its initial marketing run. And a lot of people, they come and they say, Apex wasn't marketed. There was no standard marketing, no traditional marketing, and that's true. But they dumped millions into Twitch streamers, getting just hype built around the game in a way that, is 2019. That's
Which even when you do that, it don't even mean that the game is gonna last. A good example of that is Battalion. I'm not saying that Apex didn't have a good launch; it had a great launch, but Battalion was awful. So it doesn't matter who you pay to play the game. It doesn't make it a great game. I think Apex is a good game.
Battalion had a good 2 months where when they were paying people to play it, they were playing it. But yeah, the game was.
Well, what was sad about it was
shit.
when it launched, and they try to have Shroud play the damn thing, you couldn't get into any matchmaking games. It was awful. The queue times were
insane, like 2-3 hours.
Yeah,
I remember.
So they ended up just doing custom servers, which was they still haven't fixed it. Yeah, I think by the time it even ended up working, you couldn't queue in NA. Everybody was queuing EU servers.
Oh,
so it was so.
I think
so late.
what happened was I think realistically, bro, I think they undervalued how big, and I hate the word influencer marketing because you're not really, but in this instance, with what Battalion did, with what Division 2 did, with what Apex did, and in essence what Fortnite did with its first championship, because that was in LA. I want to say it was at Chargers Stadium. When they brought over like Allier, Vicstar, they did the pros and AMs, they had Marshmello. We were at that event, but it was insane. And that was less than a year after Fortnite had come out. Fortnite hit the ground real slow.
Very slow, dude.
And then its Battle Royale launched, and you just watched it spike. I was looking yesterday at all of like the Twitch metrics for Apex and Fortnite to see how they're reacting. And Fortnite's it's flat, and then it just steadily climbs, and then it kind of evens out. And then Apex came out, and they had a big.
Well, what the problem was what Fortnite got right was, since it's not a full release, they can pump out updates at will.
Oh,
so
yeah.
it was literally like almost every week update, which is kind of its downfall now because they're pumping these updates out prior to the World Cup, and people are just getting pissed off because it's like how are you gonna
I think
throw in shit like the last tournament, the Winter Royale, when they put in the fucking sword like a week or two before.
Yeah, the Halo sword.
It was awful.
No, I think I think that's
man.
a big mistake that Epic is making, bro. I think you've got to,
for the comp scene it is, but for the
even for the
mass,
for the like public side, it's one of the obviously one of the most successful games in esports, being Call of Duty and League of Legends. They both have bi-weekly patches. So the game is always changing, but not to the level that like Fortnite is changing. When you're talking
that game,
adding in swords, balloons, vehicles, like on a weekly basis, like I think honestly Call of Duty's done it the best, where it's quarterly, every 3 months you get new weapons with new maps, so that everybody's kind of learning everything all at once, you know. And even League is kind of like that. Like they rarely just drop in a new item out of nowhere, you know. Obviously rarely Riot gives us new items in general. I mean, I think we just got a set of new item at the start of Season 9. And then they've got a bunch that are planned in between. Because Spring Split's over now, you know. Shout out Team Liquid winning Spring Split. Come back in backdoor 3-0 TSM. But
I wouldn't know about that, so I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, no, I mean, bro, League is crazy, bro. When you're consistently beating MLB, NFL, NBA numbers for your weekly streams, like,
oh, our food's here. Let me tell this guy, second floor.
You know, it's crazy, and I think that's where Epic is messing up, bro. Is I think they're putting too much out too fast, like. But then again, I mean, I don't know. I think it's also really hard because their demographics are so different. You know, you and I, we're used to Halo, no updates ever. Halo 2, I think there was 2 patches during the competitive scene. You know, Halo 3 had consistent.
To be fair, I mean, those games, they've, you know, like Halo, they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games or something?
Yeah, but I mean, I think only 3 of them went competitive.
Right,
though. Like,
right.
I know there was no ODST that was being played on a competitive level, bro.
Well, I mean,
but they stayed the same. You know, Halo 3 is really kind of the one that broke into, you know, esports, and then they kind of backtracked
it. Essentially, you know,
it took
2, 3 games.
2 games to figure it out, but then.
So, and that's where I give Fortnite a little bit of credit is, you know, it's a new game. They're just dipping into it.
It's like a year old.
You know, it's understandable, but at the same time.
But it's Epic. Like, they're not new.
Exactly.
That's
exactly.
And esports isn't new. And there's that's one of the things that I think is starting to maybe be a downfall of esports, and why when we're consistently beating MLB, NFL, and NBA numbers. You're good. We gotta get some food, guys. We're starving, so we got us some. What do we get?
Some chow.
Jersey Mike's, yeah. Listen, they don't sponsor this podcast, but if they wanted to, if Jersey Mike's, if you want to sponsor the podcast, hit me up, because I eat Jersey Mike's consistently. It's crazy, bro.
We could use some nutrition.
Oh yeah, we are
in par with our bad, horrible habits of playing games for 12 hours at a time with no food.
You know, that's you guys. I'm on the grind for 12 hours.
On the gaming side.
Yeah, I'm trying to get product and sponsorships and organize this 5v5 LAN. You know, I've got oh my goodness, bro, the amount of people, and I appreciate it. Don't take this the wrong way, but the amount of people who are consistently Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Discord. When's the 5v5 Call of Duty LAN? When's the 5v5 Call of Duty LAN? Like, guys, when I put together and when we announce the Colorado Gaming League, we're going to have Call of Duty, Fortnite, Apex, CSGO.
I should probably
See? Watch, bro. I bet you this is Yeah, question about the Call of Duty League. That's not that doesn't count because I asked for questions. But when we announced the CGL, brought to you by RBL, eventually I'm gonna do something with more than 3 letters, bro. But once I do,
The trifecta, bro.
once we announce it, like we've got our application process going through Activision right now. We're looking at $50,000 in prizing for the winners every split. So we're gonna set it up just like League. It's gonna be 2 splits. But when I launch it in May or June, I want to make sure that it's ready to go. Like, I don't want to be doing any last minute stuff. I definitely don't want to get to the finals and not be able to stream it and have to pay out everybody all at once. I don't, no shade.
Could you imagine that happening in an event? That would suck.
Oh, yeah. I mean, luckily when we did the Apex tournament, everybody was kind of cool with it. It went way longer than anybody thought. So it was like 2 a.m. by the time we even got to finals, and it was like,
Yeah, well, those intermissions with those chicks walking around, dude.
oh yeah.
So there's that.
I mean, the thing was though, is we kept all intermissions to under 10 minutes. It was just some people's games went on forever, bro. I know round 1 took us like an hour and 42 minutes. But I've played, and I'm not good by any stretch of the imagination, but we played at Clutch the other night for like 2 hours? We played like 15 games. And those guys played 1 game in that amount of time.
That's what I was telling you, man. I remember when I called to get information about that tournament, I was like, man, I'm not gonna lie to you. That round system is gonna be pretty stretched out for a lot of people because there could be games that'll last 10 minutes. I've seen games go 9.
Yeah, and then there's games that take 45 minutes to an hour.
45 minutes to an hour, and the goddamn team has 1 kill.
Oh yeah,
and they're sitting at the very edge of Skull Town in a building in the corner with 16 caustic traps.
Oh yeah, plus
so
I mean, if Mark was in the game, they didn't live in Skull Tower because that's the only place that this guy dropped.
Literally dropped there every single round.
I'm like, so we went to the Apex Social up here in Denver, and I played Apex for a photo shoot. So, like, I wasn't even focused. Like, when I went to the first Apex Social, it was just for a photo shoot for me to be like, hey, I suck at video games, so I'm going to stick to being an owner. And, like, so this is, like, realistically the first time I've ever really played. Like, I'm asking these guys how to run, bro. Like, and Mark's, like, dropping into Skull Town. And I was like, all right, well, like, relate that to, like, Fortnite. And he was like, Tilted Towers, and I was like, that's not a good idea, bro. Like,
I actually remember that.
We had one game, it was like 22 minutes into the game, and I'm running around. I still don't have a gun. You remember that? All I had was the pistol with no ammo, bro. Oh man, it was rough.
Meanwhile, I'm in the next area fighting.
Oh yeah,
like, oh, how do you pick this up?
Yeah.
There's a guy on me.
This man's just over here like, I'm like, it's funny too because playing with Mark and Jason, and
that was fun.
I jumped on. I played with a couple of the other guys who aren't signed right now that we've been talking to and such, and everybody's so like, I'm so used to competitive Call of Duty where, I played during Ghost, bro, so it was
Honey Badger.
Well, first of all, the Honey Badger was beautiful, bro. With the stock and a silencer, bro.
Man.
Oh, I remember I used to pub stomp hard in Ghost. I'd be like 64-1, like.
And Chem Strikes, dude. Them Chem Strikes.
No, that wasn't in Ghost.
Wasn't Ghost?
No, well, Chem Strikes was MW2, MW3.
There was a kill streak though, right? That dropped a.
That you killed everybody? Not in Ghost.
Oh, I'm tripping. Wow.
No, I think the last one.
So when did it start then? Wasn't it? It was Modern Warfare 2, right?
Modern Warfare 2 dropped the nuclear, or the Moab, and then Black Ops had the nuclear.
Who the hell had the Chem Strike? There was a Chem Strike. Who had it?
Yeah,
I swear to you, it's Ghost, man.
Maybe it was Ghost, but I don't think so. Because Ghost had.
See, that's the good thing about COD 4 on PC is they got mod tools. So you're playing COD 4 and you have a ridiculous amount of mods and kill streaks that are out now. They got AC-130s. They got nukes. It's so dumb. It's actually really broken. But
Oh,
it's fun.
bro, yeah, you're right. It was Ghost, but it wasn't.
What was it? Was it 40? Was it 40 kills?
No,
or?
it was 25. It was still 25,
Oh,
but it was.
shit, wow.
It would kill everybody, and then it would change the way the map
the
looked.
whole map.
And so it's not like it wasn't like Black Ops and Modern Warfare where it just ended the game. Because I remember Modern Warfare. I think it was Modern Warfare 2 when they first announced the nuclear. I think it was Modern Warfare 2 when there was that map. And it was all planes on the outside, and then inside was just a bunker, and like that was the whole map.
The sniping map, it was so popular for
that was
for
so it was so
Pomage
popular.
had like the most insane clip on that.
And then, but it was also so popular for boosters because you could go off to the side, and there'd be like 5-6 minute nuclears, and the game would just be over. Because I played.
Oh, that's when it ends. It would completely end the game, right?
End the game.
Yeah.
And it was like insane. But it's crazy. Call of Duty is something I really do want to talk about here coming up. But back to the Fortnite thing, Fortnite versus Apex, I think the demographics are just two very different. I don't think Fortnite will ever die.
Well, let me reiterate what I mean by dying, right? So, to me, when a game dies, there's no comp scene. Because I know a lot of games that are still in there.
I don't think Fortnite's comp scene will ever die. I think it'll change.
Well, here's the thing. It's gonna take a dive, right? It's gonna take a dive after this.
I don't think it will.
But here's the thing. So my point was, both of these games are in such a bad state right now. Apex is just so. But lackluster, man.
Apex is just still so new.
It's new, but it's like, okay, it's new, so what do I go back to? Fortnite, well, that game's trash.
So
people are in the middle.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, to be fair, and it's obviously not something that Epic or what the fuck makes Apex? Respawn planned. But I've definitely seen through Twitch and even through our streamers, when we signed you, it was Apex only. When we signed Jason, it was Call of Duty only. When we signed any of our players, we've only ever signed one person to be a variety streamer / content creator. But because of how bad the state of both games is right now, almost everybody on Twitch, outside of the League, and even the League of Legends community, but when you're looking at the FPS community, what it's doing is both games are so bad that people are just finding just random Division 2 stuff to play. Like
one of the biggest streamers right now is not even playing FPS. Summit. He's been playing Grand Theft Auto for a month now.
Did you see that?
That's all he does.
That screenshot that Trevor sent me when we were in the group chat arguing about it, and Fortnite only had. I was like, bro, you sent me a screenshot where Fortnite's only beating GTA by 20,000 viewers, And because I've got an 8-year-old, so that's his whole dream, right? He wants to be in esports and play, and he's always asking me, Dad, when are you gonna put me on the team? When can I start streaming? And as a parent, it's rough because I'm like, man, I don't want my kid out in front of that many people. There's a lot of weird people in the world today.
Well, that's why a lot of people had their had a bad start to begin with gaming. I mean, it was so hard to market to parents. They were like, what are you talking? Video games, traveling play with grown men. It's like, what are you talking about? My parents,
they're
like, no.
I mean, I had not the best time as a kid, but I remember we got an Xbox, and my little brother and I had begged my parents for it, and we got it from Santa Claus on Christmas, and it was crazy, bro, because the whole time we're asking about it, and right after we got it, my dad is like, this is stupid. Like, what do you guys want to sit here and play games for? Go outside.
Yeah.
And then he got Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell.
Yeah, Splinter Cell. Oh,
and then this dude took the Xbox out of our room, bro, and put it in the living room, and he would just play like 6 hours when he got home because he worked for a construction company during the day, and then he owned a computer business. And then he would come home like 10 o'clock at night, and then 10 to like 1 a.m. He'd just be out there grinding Splinter Cell, Halo. And I was like, and it was crazy because, when it's crazy to see where it's come from because I remember being hype on Super Mario 3, bro. You got a feather.
He's flying around.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Or Mario Brothers 3, I guess is what it's called. And then you had Super Mario World where bro, I still play that game. I bought a Nintendo Classic. I still play Super Mario.
I don't know if you have you ever tried the emulators where you can play on PC? You know what was good was Mario Party.
Listen, bro, Mario Party ends Mario Party almost ended my family.
Yo,
bro.
man, that game is relationship ruiner.
Oh, it's just a friendship ruiner, bro. I just saw a meme about it the other day where it was like all these things to do, like what to do, what not to do, and the whole 9 columns of what not to do was don't get Mario Party. Seriously,
don't get it.
Don't play it, bro. I remember my older brother.
So good.
My older brother had a N64 before we had anything. Down at my dad's house. You know, my mom spoiled us because she wasn't really around, so she just bought us a bunch of stuff.
Game Shark.
Out of PS. Oh, bro, yeah.
The original. Oh,
but
dude.
He had an N64 and he had a Ocarina of Time.
Oh yeah.
And bro, you remember that? That shit took you like 4 or 5 weeks to finish. Like nobody was speed grinding that game because it took forever. And then he bought Mario Party and we played it as a family. I don't think we all talked for like 2 weeks.
That
game is like Monopoly for video games. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh yeah.
But the thing is like with Monopoly, right? You go into it, you know you're about to not have a good time. With Mario Party, even now,
that game lasts too long. I think they made like a
Mario Party.
No.
Monopoly. Monopoly doesn't last too long. You just gotta know how to finesse a little bit. You know?
Dude, I don't think I've ever played Monopoly and played less than an hour and a half, and we all quit.
Oh no, bro! It's you gotta know the strategies, and it's weird because they're like games like Monopoly and stuff. There are legit strategies too, but it's just crazy to see like where video games have gone since, you know, Mario Party and Zelda, and like everything was so like, I can't imagine having like legitimate esports when like the PS2 came out. You know, you had SmackDown, Just Bring It. You know, you had so many good fighting games, and I feel like if we had, one of the big things that I look back and I think about is, you remember Mortal Kombat Sub-Zero?
Yeah, like the character or
no, his game. Yeah, see, and you don't even know because it tanked so hard.
Wow.
But it was almost like a Final Fantasy version of Mortal Kombat. Like it wasn't just straight fighting. It was it had a little bit of a story to it.
So it was like MMO or what?
A little bit. It was more like it was more like a RPG, honestly.
Okay.
Like you played as Sub-Zero and you had to go and complete these missions and do this stuff. And the game tanked. Obviously, nobody knows what the hell it is.
I've never heard of it.
I feel like if we had esports now or things like Twitch, that game would have taken off because that's the stuff that people would be, dude. Like want to. Oh, bro, that's talk about a friendship ender, bro. GoldenEye. I remember.
Imagine what that game would be, dude.
Yo, I remember me and my little brother used to ride our bike like almost 8 miles out over by like my grandmother's neighbor. This cute little girl had, she was cute and little when I was cute and little. This cute girl had an N64 and she had GoldenEye, bro. And oh my God, bro, she was so good. But yeah, imagine you know what? I think I might do a GoldenEye tournament, bro.
I'm telling you, there's bars that have been hosting those tournaments. I don't know if you've seen it.
Yeah, a couple of, but N64s are so expensive, and nobody's gonna bring their own N64.
No, because especially to a bar, it's gonna get smashed.
Dude. You know, even if we did it, the good thing is it's all like, bro, it's all local based. We could do it here at the podcast studio. That shit would be crazy. No, we might do one.
I'm telling you.
I got to see if I can find fucking 20 N64s. I mean, I have 3, but 2 of them I don't really want to bring out, you know, because I got the clear green one and then Pokemon Stadium one. But I have a regular one.
It'd be a good showpiece.
But also, I think maybe
just put it behind a box and just have the cords.
Like old school,
like enclosed,
like at Walmart back in the day when you could play the games,
dude.
Bro.
There you go. It's safe and sound.
No, I'm thinking, bro, it would be good.
All right.
But I'm waiting. The N64 Classic has to be around the corner. because they've got the PlayStation Classic now, the Super Nintendo Classic, and those have done amazing. But I want the N64
I was kind of pissed
Classic.
that they didn't release it. They didn't put on enough units, man. I hate
which
when companies
one?
do that of
The Super Nintendo
Yeah.
Classic? Oh, bro, when they were like
the
$600 a piece. Yeah, but that's just smart business, you know.
So do
but
they
then
even
on the
benefit from resale?
no, they don't benefit from resale. But
because that's what people were doing. I mean, they were.
oh yeah,
reselling
I
them.
bought 4 or 5 of them
Yeah,
and
yeah.
resold them. You know what I'm saying? But it's because it builds the hype, and then the stores order it, and you know. But unfortunately, what happens is then you have like the PlayStation Classic where stores were so worried it was going to happen again that they just way over ordered. And now you could find PlayStation Classics in almost every store, and even the Super Nintendo Classics you can find a little bit more now. Like,
Yeah, they're pretty available.
I found my
I got
most
one.
recent one. I think it was after the social. Actually, I stopped at Target on my way home, and I pick them up anytime I see them because they still. I mean, they're relatively easy to find, but they still have a decent resale value. And now that they have the cracks out for them, like you take one of those PC emulators, you move it over there, and you can play
wow.
everything.
Wow,
So,
that's smart.
You know, it's crazy, bro. But what do you think? You think we'll cut here and munch down real quick, and then we'll come back and
Yeah.
we'll go
One
into
more
Call
question.
of Duty.
You ever played Conquer? Conquer's Bad Fur Day?
Oh, of course, bro.
Dude,
of course.
okay.
When you're talking PS2, bro, when you're talking PS2, there is not a PlayStation 2 game that I didn't play. That's all I did as a child, bro. SmackDown, Just Bring It, Spyro.
Oh wow! Hey, I want to play the.
I want to play the
version.
remastered
Yeah.
Spyro too, bro. I just don't like. I want to stream it, like, Spyro, fucking Metal Gear Solid. Oh, bro.
How about Twisted Metal?
Twisted Metal was my jam, bro. That
Dude, I'm not gonna lie to you.
ice cream truck.
The first one was so bad. I'm not gonna lie to you. Compared to the new ones, when that game came out, it was a great game. But the ones that followed it,
oh yeah,
just made the first one completely
I think-
trash. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I think it was Twisted Metal. It had like it wasn't just like a number. It had another name, and it was so good with the ice cream truck, and then they added in almost like ultimates from games now, where
They
you
did.
like stacked up your
They
meter,
did.
and then you could do all this
Oh
crazy
man,
stuff.
the maps that they came out with too, and then like the boss fights and stuff that you would have.
Yeah, see, and that's one of the things that I miss so much, and we'll talk about in a little bit. But I miss being able to just sit and play a game.
Yeah, there's not
You
very
know,
many.
like it's been a minute. I think the last game I sat and actually enjoyed was Spider-Man. But there's no multiplayer to Spider-Man either. It's just a story. You know, the last one I think was Ghost, honestly, because Ghost had such a good storyline, and it was what Ghost did for Call of Duty, and that's one of like the big topics I want to talk about because I've been debating this on Twitter left and right, but. Ghost had such a good storyline, and then its multiplayer was amazing.
Did you play?
Eventually.
Did you play that RPG for PS4? The dude's name was the main character's name was Drake. He's like an explorer. He like hunts for treasure and shit.
No, I don't think so. I think I
What
played a
the
lot
hell
of.
is the name of that game?
I played a lot of. Bro, you have your phone. I played a lot of. Yeah, you can't just Google Drake though, bro.
I know. I'm gonna
She
try.
said, "Do you love me?" I tell her
Drake,
only partly.
PS4.
No, bro.
Uncharted.
Oh no, but my son's mom played it.
Yeah,
She
that's
was,
the
like,
last-
hype on it.
That's the last game I actually enjoyed as a single player. Probably the best single player I've played. The new ones.
New ones, okay.
New ones.
Because
No,
I
I
was gonna
wouldn't-
say
yeah,
like
not
Super
the-
Mario.
Donkey Kong 64. Come on, Donkey
Oh,
Kong.
yo,
Dude.
Donkey Kong was on the SNES Classic, bro.
Is it really?
Yeah, and this girl that I used to date, when we bought the Super Nintendo, like that's all she just grinded, and it was crazy because she remembered everything. You know, like when I go play Super Mario, you know, I remember all of like the side zones where the keys are, how to unlock, and
You know, one thing I do like about being a part of this like Twitch thing and YouTube being so big with gaming is that all the old games, there's so many playthroughs and walkthroughs. So even if you can't play these old games, you can just look them up, and
Oh,
there's
yeah.
literally full playthroughs. and cheats or strategies you never thought. I'm like, damn, dude. Like,
Yeah.
if I would have known this then,
Or
I
like
would have been the man.
The speed runs of like Super Mario. Have you seen those?
Oh, yeah.
Like, bro,
They're unreal, dude.
I know how to. I've played that game probably 200 times, start to finish. It still takes me like.
What's
3
the
or 4
record?
days.
Like 6 minutes or something?
Yeah. What the? How, bro?
Yeah.
How? And it's crazy to think. You know, if that came out now, like if somebody speed run through like, Spider-Man. You know, they've done speed runs through Spider-Man just to beat the game. But if somebody found like those glitches where you could speed run Spider-Man in like 2 battles, that would be patched immediately in today's world.
Oh yeah.
And now, you know, it's crazy.
I never thought of it that way. Man.
Yeah, we'll take a break real quick and then we'll be right back. All right, let's see. Where were we at?
Conker's Bad Fur Day was the last thing. No, Uncharted.
Uncharted being the best game, right? So,
Yeah.
let's move into the Call of Duty kind of segment. I know everybody's been begging to know what's going on, and we'll touch on it a little bit. You know, I'm gonna get Jason, our head of Call of Duty, in on next week's podcast where we can go a little bit deeper into it once we have some more details. But you know, like I was saying, I mean, we got people all the time asking about the Call of Duty scene, and that's where I came from. That's my background, was Black Ops 2, Ghosts, a little bit of Advanced Warfare, not much. I kind of thought that game was trash.
The zombies was okay, but yeah, the multiplayer was.
Advanced, I mean, just loot boxes being introduced, like boots off the ground.
It became very EA.
Yeah, I mean, it was 100% Advanced Warfare was just a Titanfall clone. That's all it was. You know.
Yeah. That is when that game came out, right?
Yeah.
They were kind of trying to.
Yeah, and then Black Ops 3. I played a lot of Black Ops 3.
Yeah, that was one of the more recent ones. That wasn't bad.
Yeah, Black Ops 3 had the G slide, which is, you know, they've got it in Apex now, and I can love it, bro. It's just a callback to when I started streaming. You know, when I went less into because I retired after Ghosts. You know, everything with my daughter and stuff happened, and Black Ops 3 is kind of when I came back and just started playing for fun, just pub stomping, streaming here and there, dropping some clips, but, you know, and then I didn't play any World War II. It's the only Call of Duty game I don't even own.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna. I played the beta, the free release. Game was awful.
Yeah, it's just... You can't, like, I mean, I'm happy that they put boots back on the ground. Like, that was a real big thing, but you can't go back in time, bro. You can't go from Modern Warfare 3 to Black Ops to Ghost and then back to World War II. Like,
to do a relaunch.
Because three-quarters of the guns in that game made no sense. They didn't have stuff like that in World War II. Like,
yeah.
It just didn't make any sense. And then Black Ops 3... Black Ops 3 was such a good game, but it was probably, in my opinion, and like I said, I didn't play World War II or Advanced Warfare really, so I'm not sure. And maybe not playing Advanced Warfare is why, but I feel like Black Ops 3 was the hardest Call of Duty to be at a top tier level. Because you had wall runs, jet jumps, you just had... It was the first Call of Duty really to introduce like being able to go underwater and.
Yeah, that game was very.
Whoa.
That'll work.
That's what happens when you talk about Call of Duty, bro. Activision gets on.
They send the troops in.
No,
bro.
we're not even live either,
Oh
so they just are listening.
Jesus, turn your phone off, dude.
Yeah, I think Black Ops 3, and like I said, maybe it's because I didn't play a lot of Advanced Warfare, because I don't think Advanced Warfare had wall running.
No.
But I know they had, like, the boosters, like, the jetpack kind of garbage shit, you know, and Black Ops 3.
Yeah, that game was very, Black Ops 3, dude, was so, like, beyond 3D is like 4D, man. I mean,
Yeah,
it was so new to Call of Duty to have to. You're not. It was a very, common thing to come around a corner and you got to look down. People are prone. It's not like you don't even go around looking down anymore. You were going around corners looking up.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Because people would just bounce back and keep high ground on you, and you're just like, do I look up or down? Like,
yeah, because I remember Ghost is really like I mean, I guess it was Black Ops 2, but Ghost is really where drop shots started becoming like the go-to. Like, that's how you knew if somebody was good or not. If they would, Black Ops 2, drop shots were kind of big, but it was more if somebody could strafe, you were like, all right, well, I'm not playing against a bot. Like, this guy actually, someone knows what he's doing. But Ghost was like, if you saw somebody drop shot you or drop shot somebody else, you were like, shit, bro. Like,
and then they were drop shotting with their thumb, their right joystick.
Yeah, well,
they did change
we all changed it.
Yeah.
Like, because, I don't know, the biggest complaint.
What is that, Legacy? Or is it Southpaw? Or what's the loadout? What would that be called?
I don't know what the name of the loadout was because I never changed the full loadout. You just flopped the joystick in the circle.
You were able to do that?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was probably its own set loadout, but I just know that those were the only two buttons that changed. And then Southpaw is where like you literally just flip the controller, like your left joystick.
Yeah, I played Claw because of Scump. I was fanboying Scump at the time.
Oh, I mean, listen, Scump is
the Jinja Ninja.
Yeah, Scump is a character, man. Because when I was playing in Ghost, was that's when him and Matt were having all of their issues where they just were not getting along, and Scump left and went to Envious, but they were also kids, you know what I'm saying? Like, Matt is my age. Well, I say that Matt's 2-3 years younger than I am, and Scump is our age too, and so when they were coming up, when YouTube got big, Matt was, what I want to say was 19 when he won his first $1 million championship. Like, you can't put that much money in a kid's hands and then expect them to not kind of douche out about it.
Yeah, I mean, their heads definitely got real big, man. I mean, they were.
Oh, they earned
they
it.
were, yeah. Oh, yeah, they definitely earned it. But
sure,
I mean, they were like the staple of Call of Duty, man. They were the face of esports at the time, basically. I mean,
yeah, I've always in everything we've done for RBL.
Think about how YouTube was like so much about nade shot for the longest time. Every time you go into lobbies, everybody was talking about nade shot. People had their names. Nade shot.
Yeah,
it was just like he was the game for so long.
Yeah, it was nade shot, phase Apex, Scump to a point, but YouTube wise, Matt is, and I credit him all the time with where we're at with RBL and what I'm able to do and what my staff and what you guys as content creators and streamers and professionals are able to do. 100% of that goes to Matt. Like, nade shot set the bar for what esports and YouTube is today. And, it's crazy to think that, where would we be without nade shot? And a lot of it has to go to Hex as well, without Optic and their support. Matt never would have got where he was. But also, there's a big part that people kind of forget. But, Matt was successful in spite of Optic. It wasn't Optic is the reason that Matt is successful. He got cut from the first team. He had to convince them to put him on the team that won the first championship, and that kind of perseverance, and he was really the first person in the space that was a content creator first and then a professional.
Yep.
Because once he, when he got cut from Optic and Hex was like, yo, man, you got something special. Stay on, do YouTube, you know. And, bro, for the longest time, 4 or 5 years, it was YouTube. How the fuck you doing? Hey, guys, it's Nate Shot here with another video. And that was everybody. Everywhere you went, that's what you heard, you know. And now it's... now there's a few more, you know. I'll get my kid every once in a while. Like, what's going on, guys? It's Typical Gamer here. But all of those intros stem from Matt. Even Scump's YouTube intro is almost Matt's
almost
YouTube
Matt.
intro. Like,
oh, Thea.
Yeah.
Fuck. God, that drives me nuts, dude.
Oh,
It's so funny, but God, I hate it so bad.
That used to be like the
so
go-to troll when you're playing like free-for-alls in like Black Ops 2 and Ghost. Was right before like you're down to the last two, right? You got the guy, Thea, and then blow, and it was just like
the OG fucking nuke grinder, bro.
Oh,
That guy had a nuke every other game.
Scump. Yeah, Scump was
Black Ops
on
2, dude. Oh my god.
Yo, Scump was on a grind during Black Ops 2. I remember because Black Ops 2 was the first iteration of League play.
Yep. Oh, so good.
And
it was so good.
You know, I remember Scump grinding it. Nadeshot had his Road to 100 video. You know, he did his Road to 100 in Ghost. But see, and I miss that, you know, and I know Black Ops 4 just recently introduced League play, and it's kind of got my attention back into it. Like I was telling you on break, we, you know, I played Call of Duty for the first time in, let's just say I haven't, until yesterday, I hadn't downloaded a patch.
Jeez.
That's right. I downloaded one patch when they kind of buffed up SMGs a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Black Ops 3, you know, one of the things that turned me off to Black Ops 3 was there was only one play style for the first 2 or 3 months. You either had an AR and you sat at range, or you died. There was no SMG play available. Like, the SMGs sucked. The assault rifles were good, but that extra 50 health made such a difference. Like, drop shots aren't a thing anymore. You can't drop shot somebody in Black Ops 4. Like, they'll kill you because headshots have so much more. Everything just plays so much more into itself and into each other on Black Ops 4, and that's what I like about Call of Duty. And, you know, we talked about it a little bit when it came to, you know, Fortnite and Apex and even League of Legends. You know, it's some of these games are patching too fast, and I think what happens is, you know, and you've done it a couple times, and we've talked about it a couple times already just since we've started working together, but what happens is you get a group of people that don't like how something works, and you get a bunch of people fucking whining on Twitter, and all of these developers are rushing to fix these issues because that's what they see. And they're not really looking at, all right, there's 100,000 people on Twitter complaining about Fortnite right now, but there's 5 million other players that aren't complaining about it, that are still playing and that understand. And I think that's one thing that Call of Duty really did right that a lot of these games just aren't doing, is Call of Duty takes so much feedback from their community.
Yeah, and the thing is that they, like we said before, they have a recipe, man, that they've been working on for years. And the problem with these new games that I've realized is these updates that they're making, it's kind of like they're basing them off of a very small criteria of statistics. So, like, for example, to throw Apex back under the fire, they nerfed the wingman. So it's like, okay, first of all, why would you do that? Is it because everybody's using it? Well, of course everybody's going to use a good gun. You have to look at why people are using it. Are they using it because...
Yeah, I don't think it was so much that the wingman was OP. I think it was every other gun in the game kind of sucks. Like,
well, and it's not so much that every gun sucks. It's just that the potential that the wingman can have is great when you're 1v3 or 1v2 when you're at a disadvantage, and because of the goddamn streamers like Dizzy and Shroud using only wingmans, right?
Yeah.
So it's like it's a thing. But with Call of Duty, I mean, they've been doing it for so long. They understand weapon balancing. Just because everybody's using one gun, kind of. Well, but when they make updates, it makes sense, right? It's like, oh my god, finally they nerfed this fucking gun.
Oh yeah, that one makes sense. But they've also taken way too long a few times to do that. You remember? I know you do because you mentioned it earlier. You remember the Honey Badger Ghost?
Yeah, that gun was broken.
The Honey
Everybody
Badger,
used
bro,
it.
that thing lasted almost the entire lifespan of Ghost. Like there was maybe I think maybe the second set of maps when that was like the Jason maps. When the Honey Badger kind of died out a little bit, but that was because all 4 of those maps released were so close quarters.
Well, and they
by the way,
introduced new guns too, right? There's some pretty good guns. They had the.
Oh yeah, Ghost was great.
There was another gun that came out that was so good.
They dropped that SMG.
The SMG.
That was insane.
I'm trying to think of the goddamn name, but that gun was great. Yeah.
And by the way, Ghost by far, and I'm on record, by far, Ghost had the best post-launch maps of any Call of Duty. By far, their launch maps. Sucked, like, and that's why Ghost gets such a bad rap, because for the first 3 months, the game did suck. Like, maps were way too big for how few players were in it, and I realized like that Activision and Infinity Ward, they were prepping for the Xbox One and the PS4, where you could have more than just 6v6. You could have 12v12s.
Right.
You know, where we're at now with battle royales. And so, but you know, there was that Stonehenge map on Ghost. That thing was miserable. But then they dropped that first map pack with the Ferris wheel place, the fairgrounds. They had the almost like favela style where they had I only remember that because you had that red building, and that's where everybody, and like we were talking about, everybody would just sit there prone because it was so like out of the way that even though you knew there's going to be somebody in here, by the time you got there, you almost forgot about it and you were just trying to get to the next area. Then they had the Jason map, Lake whatever the hell it's called.
It was a scary
map. It was a terrifying map.
Yeah.
To get Jason was terrifying. And
how much health did he have, by the way?
It was, I don't know.
It was like
an insane amount.
Yeah. So back to the guns thing. So I understand that, you know, it's like you said, you know, well, the other guns sucked. Well, in competitive, that's not always been a bad thing for there to be a popular gun. I mean, look at Counter-Strike. What are the best 2 guns? The M4 and the AK. And the AWP, right? Most used guns. COD 4 competitive PC. You know, when they had Pro Mod, the only guns used were the AK-47, the AK-74U, and the M40A3. It's not a bad thing to have guns that are considered the best guns to use for competitive mode. You know what I mean? If you're playing at a competitive standpoint, I mean, you can't have all guns be equal, and that's it. That's the one thing that I didn't like that Apex is trying to do. They're buffing certain guns, and then you know, not the wingman is they're gonna nerf it to extinction, dude. I mean, it's still, if you can aim, you can still use it. It's not that big of a deal, but it's like they nerfed it so hard, and that's the problem that Fortnite's having is they're doing these insane patches. And it's like, what are they basing their stats off of?
Yeah, I think. Well, you got to realize though, like both games are still so new, and I think one thing, not just one thing, but the biggest thing I have to give Activision is that they separate the competitive scene from public games. They don't get the same patches
when they put it out.
They
but
don't
they
get
do.
the same guns. No, but I'm talking like the CWL, right? For Black Ops 4. Yeah. Like, you have totally different rule
stuff,
sets.
Right? They ban perks,
stuff.
They ban nades or something like that.
There's things that you just can't use, and then each team gets a ban process. And
that was a very good. I forgot about that. That's really good.
that's where and why I think, in my opinion, that's why the Call of Duty competitive scene is so healthy.
Mm-hmm.
You don't ever really, even during Ghosts, like, you never really had Call of Duty pros coming out and saying, oh, this gun is overpowered or this gun sucks. For us, when we're pub stomping, that's a different story. Everybody and their mother complained about the honey badger.
Yep.
Everybody.
Yep.
You know, I remember watching Nade, Scump, Green Goblin HD, Ali A. You didn't matter. You look up a Ghost video right now on YouTube. I'm going to do it. I bet you the honey badger is the gun that they're using.
That's funny.
Because but in pro, you rarely saw the honey badger. Like, it was good, but it didn't match. You know, you've got different roles. You've got your AR role, your SMG role,
and the reason I didn't match is because the situations are completely different. You know, I mean,
oh yeah,
when you're pub stomping, you know, there's people just running across planes that you would normally just not do blindly like that. Usually it's smoked, or you know what I mean. There are certain lines of sight that are not available to you when you're playing pubs versus when you're playing competitive.
Oh look,
so it makes sense.
Yeah. Honey badger.
Of course,
it's all honey badger. All I did was
But
Google Call of Duty Ghosts. Oh,
whoa, technical.
Trying to break my microphones, bro.
So that's the thing that kind of pissed me off with Apex, is that they put these nerfs in, and it's like, okay, well, do it to the goddamn public scene. Have you asked any of the pros how they feel about this kind of nerf?
There is no competitive scene for Apex right now.
That's the bigger picture problem.
I know your biggest thing right now. They came out and said they're never gonna have a competitive scene. I'm sorry, but Respawn is owned by EA. You don't think that they're gonna have a competitive scene?
I would hope so. But I mean, like I said, dude,
they're owned by EA.
I know, but that dude. The question was literally, do you have any plans, or how do you feel the Apex competitive scene is going to be? Something along those lines. And word for word, we don't have any competitive updates coming in the near future.
Yeah, that's the near future, bro. They haven't even finished releasing Legends. They haven't made it through Season 1. You can't have a competitive, neither did Fortnite. They even had a World Cup, and they didn't have a straight competitive scene. Arena wasn't introduced until Season 8, I think, right? Because we're in 9 now.
Yeah.
So, you know, Fortnite had 8 seasons before they had a competitive style league play-ish. Call of Duty had till Black Ops 2. That means you went through Modern Warfare, Black Ops, Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 2, Modern Warfare 3.
Hence the reason why it wasn't big on
Ghost,
PC,
right?
though. You know what I mean? It was it was a console game for the longest time.
Oh, yeah, 100%, and it still is. I mean, we were just talking about it over lunch, you know.
Yeah.
Console players will smash PC players in Call of Duty, 100%.
No, absolutely
bro.
not.
I will put $500 on a console competitive team to beat a PC competitive team.
That's what we need to do. We need to, if you can assemble a team, because I know you guys are still working on that, right? Trying to get a team
we
together.
have our roster.
Okay.
We have both of our
All
rosters.
right, get that roster together, and I'll get my roster together.
And then you're gonna play us in Black Ops 4.
Yep.
How though? It's not cross-platform.
Plug-in controller, dude. We're going.
No, wait. We already talked about that. A controller into a PC is still so much different than playing on console.
They need to make it cross-platform, dude.
No, I mean, why? Because
be dope.
Computer players can cry about aim assist just like they do on Fortnite.
Yeah, the dumb Fortnite players are crying about aim assist. It's so dumb.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
It's so dumb,
Fortnite.
Man. They're comparing it to 1 or 2 guys that are great aimers with a controller, and it's like, well, there's always going to be a good player, dude. But are you kidding me? You're basing your allegations to non-pro Fortnite players that are PC players. I mean, they're comparing an actual pro console player like Aiden or Nick or Issa. Those guys are pro players. Ninja, I guess TV, he's definitely good, but high distortion. You know, those guys, they're not pro players.
No, they're just
you know what I mean?
They're just people who are there to
So you cannot
stuff,
compare them when they're crying about aim assist because they're not pros. There's 14-year-olds that'll smack them.
Yeah, it's
that are not big, unfortunately.
First of all, I mean, it's crazy. You know, it's what Call of Duty has done for esports can never be overlooked. But I also think that if something doesn't change a little bit, if league play doesn't start, if there doesn't, I don't know, because it's already been announced, right, and not confirmed, but 99% that Activision is franchising the Call of Duty League. Riot franchise League of Legends this year. If an amateur scene doesn't pop up, esports will die. And that's a big thing, you know. I think because the skill gap to go, especially once franchise, right now, you know, almost any team, you can technically qualify for the CWL as any team, and then you can go play and try to earn your spot. But once you franchise, getting on a team, I mean, even League of Legends this year, and we'll drop the next segment for League of Legends here in a second because it's the last thing I want to talk about. But even, you know, they've seen such a drastic fallout from not having an amateur scene. And so, that's you know, that's really all for Call of Duty. You know, we'll jump into League of Legends here coming up in the next segment because I think main points being Call of Duty everybody has to thank Call of Duty for where we're at in esports right now. It's just the way it goes. So
yep, and I think now more than ever, man. And I'll say it again, and I'll say it before. Can I say it?
Yeah, you can say what you want. We only have 30 seconds before we got to reset the camera.
The games right now are at such a standstill. Somebody needs to come out and take advantage of the games being so bad.
Here we go.
Make a better game, please.
All right. Technical difficulties aside. Let me see. I don't know. Fuck, bro. I don't even know where I'm going to cut this. So let's just go back to my point being we're going to start the League of Legends segment here. And you guys will miss some little back and forth between us as far as how it went. But the main conversation right now, even before the League of Legends stuff that we have is, you know, should a new game come out? And my point being, there's always going to be the top of the tier for any style of game, right? So FPS, fighting, Battle Royale is going to be Fortnite. And the problem with Apex, and the biggest reason why I think that Apex won't stick around in its current iteration is it didn't give Fortnite enough time. You know, Call of Duty had, like we were talking about earlier, I mean, it took until Ghost, really. Black Ops 2 was kind of the start, but it took really until Ghosts. So, what is that, 16 years for the game? You know, and realistically, competitively, it took Modern Warfare, Black Ops, and Modern Warfare 2. So, it took 3 games, but that's 6 years to figure out how the competitive scene was going to work. And if you really want to get technical, it took until Black Ops 4. Because this is the first year of the CWL. This is the first year that Activision itself is saying we're running the esports division. So they watched for 9 years.
You would think that Apex, seeing how Fortnite has only gotten this big because of the competitive play. That one?
Bruh. Keep talking. We won't cut this one.
All right. You would think that Fortnite having this huge comp scene and being the main reason that it's around, everybody wanted to be Ninja. Not everybody wants to be Tfue. Everybody wants to be Mr. Savage M. They all want to be the best players. So why wouldn't Respawn come right out the gate with a comp mode? You know what I mean? And I understand that, you know, it's not always the first thing that comes out with a new game. I mean, it's always hard to introduce competitive, but it's like, damn, If I was making a game, dude, that'd be like the first thing. Comp, especially with Fortnite holding a competitive qualifying league right now, and everybody's talking about everybody's playing it. It's like, why would you do that? I don't get it.
Yeah, I think.
I don't know. I think Apex needs to get on their high horse and do something, and be like, you know what, we're gonna be the game. Fortnite's out, but instead they release a battle pass that has probably the worst skins I've ever seen in any game.
Oh, well, that's probably a little extreme. But,
I swear, dude, nobody likes them.
no, but I think Apex couldn't launch with the competitive scene because there's not one. Battle Royales are 2 years old, realistically. Fortnite being the first really big one. Fortnite still has a couple of years in its belt to figure out how a Battle Royale comp scene is going to work, because honestly, I don't know. Even the Fortnite competitive scene right now, and if Apex did launch with the competitive scene, you've got to realize that with Battle Royales, there's so much RNG involved that creating a competitive scene is really hard. And so they've got to figure out how to fix the RNG. Because what's going to happen is you're either going to have everybody dropping into Skulltown or Tilted Towers, because that's where the tier fucking 1 loot is. And matches are going to be 9 minutes, because it's going to be whatever team gets to the better gun first wins. Or they're going to have to even out the tiers of loot. And if I was setting up competitive...
the map has pretty even loot, but even still then...
the map does not have even loot. On Apex?
Yeah, it does.
No, it does not.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
I like going Skull
because
it's a hot drop. But
yeah, if it had even loot, Skull wouldn't be a hot drop. That's the point of a hot drop.
No, there's multiple. There's multiple hot drops, though.
There is not. There's okay, multiple being 2.
No. There's see, you know what's funny? I drop only Skulltown that I don't even know the names.
Yeah, because I don't care. It, bro.
No,
there's
but
only
there
2.
are other places.
Skulltown is where
loot.
There's
Bunker?
other places with decent loot.
Bunker always has great loot.
Skulltown has the best loot. In that, maybe Bunker has maybe they have identical loot, right? Maybe Bunker and Skulltown have the exact same loot in them. Skulltown's still better for looting. There's more people. You don't have to do it yourself. You don't have to find the stuff. Somebody else is. And that's what they'd have to fix. If I was doing competitive, not even if I was going to release a Battle Royale, and I've thought about this a lot, not releasing one because I'm not dumping millions of dollars. I don't have that. A. B, I'm not going to dump my personal wealth into it. But if I was going to do it, and if one of you companies does it and I don't get credit for it, I'm going to tweet about it. But here's what I would do. Time-based loot.
Time-based?
As in everybody...
spawns in?
No. As in everybody gets the same tier, right? So let's say my game has 12 guns. Okay? I drop in 3, and they're all the same, right? I drop in 3 SMGs, 3 assault rifles, 3 shotguns. Now, obviously, an SMG is going to be better at close. A shotgun is going to be much better in one-on-one, and an assault rifle is going to be better farther away. But then, 10 minutes into the game, 20 minutes into the game, we drop another set of 3. Or, even if it's not time-based, it's squad-based. So you drop in 20 squads. At 15 squads, now the loot that you can start finding goes up. Now you're at tier 2 loot. And then, maybe you do it. What I would do is I drop in, let's call it squads, right? So the first 5 squads. Or, I don't know, I guess when you're talking Fortnite, it's 60 people, so... And then Apex is 20 squads of 3, right?
Yeah, so there's 60 people in Apex, and then there's
100 in Fortnite.
100 in Fortnite.
So let's say we'll talk Apex, right? Let's because I don't like Bob the Builder. Let's say Apex, right? So there's 20 squads. No. That's not right. There's 18 squads. Something like that. We'll just say there's 20 squads.
18 to 20, yeah.
There's 20 squads.
Might
so
be 65 people, who knows?
66. 12 squads remaining. Because, I mean, realistically, that's every time I've played Apex and I look up, that's usually the number that I see. Cause
usually you see every time you look up, by the time everybody's died in the beginning,
it's like
that
12.
first mass, it's about 35 people left, 36.
Yeah,
so
about 12 squads, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so let's say at 12 squads, right now the tier 2 loot drops. But initially what I would do, when the first 20 drop in, everything is tier 3 loot. But there is one spawn that has, and not one spawn as far as like one area, but at, if we're saying 12 is when tier 2 drops, and maybe at 15 we have almost like a care package drop, which I know Apex does now, but that's just another thing to fight over.
With Apex 2 though is the looting is really, really bad, to the point where you'll go into a whole wing of Skulltown and all you find is attachments.
Oh, yeah, I know.
So they definitely need to do something. That's what I'm telling you.
And no ammo.
There's sometimes when you can go to the...
I don't want to hear it from you, bro. I don't want to hear it. We're literally 2 minutes into the game, and you already have the 2 guns that you wanted, and that's all. You don't ever pick up another gun.
That's not... First of all, it's not so much RNG as it is playing Octane, because... I mean, I've already been through 6 buildings when you've been through half of one.
It's RNG.
Yeah, of course, but I mean,
all you ever do is find the 2 best guns in the game, bro.
Hey, it's streamer loot, bro.
It's not streamer loot.
It's streamer loot.
No, we weren't streaming. We were playing at Clutch, bro.
It doesn't matter. I'm still a streamer.
It was
streamer loot.
Insane. I'm running around at fucking 22 minutes with a pistol and no ammo, bro. And you're like 2 minutes into the game. Yo, I already found my guns.
I'm going. I'm out.
I'm like, yo, can we loot? Like, Jason and I are like, hey, we have helmets. You're like, oh, yeah, no, I got purple armor. Like, bro, you're 6 minutes into the game. Where'd you get purple armor? Like,
off drop. Somebody gave it to me.
It ain't off drop. What happens is you go into the building with all the good loot, and then he octanes in behind you and takes all the loot before you can get there. And then you're like, well, you better carry this game, bro, because you just took all of the heavy ammo.
Hell yeah.
No, but that's what I would do. And for a competitive scene, that's what you have to do, because otherwise it should, like...
That's why the competitive scene is so hard, yeah.
The only reason Fortnite competitive is even, like, enjoyable to watch is the building. Mm-hmm. And in my opinion, that's the worst part of that game. But if the building wasn't there, games would be like 6 minutes, 7 minutes. You could have every team but one drop into Tilted Towers.
And I mean, their loot system is pretty good. I mean, you pretty much everywhere you land, you're gonna end up with a shotgun and an AR and some shields for the most part.
Oh, I mean, a shotgun and an AR, I'll go with. I'll give you that one. I think, and I don't know, I haven't looked at patch notes or anything for Fortnite, but like I said, I jumped on and played it a little bit the other night.
Did you land Pleasant? Because Pleasant right now is dog shit for shields.
No. We landed on the Arctic Hill.
Oh, okay.
And we played 6-7 games. I think we found shields twice.
Yeah,
I found mushrooms, like the little shield mushrooms. But what's that, 5 shield? You block half of a bullet.
Yeah. Ninja was saying something like all the hot zones are like the worst for looting right now. But
yeah, I mean, we dropped Tilted Towers and there wasn't, like, Matt dropped into Clock Tower, didn't even find a gun. Like, didn't even find ammo. He found balloons.
Yeah. And
the balloons are pretty swaggy. And then they got this new little car that's in it, bro. Have you got the car yet? The little bubble?
Yeah, the baller.
Yeah, that thing is amazing.
Horrible. It's horrible.
It's
funny, but it's horrible for competitive. It's like that almost single-handedly it made everybody rage. Like, I think there's at least 15 monitors that have been broken.
But it's hilarious. They got the little plunger that does literally
Well, you know where
nothing,
they stole that from, right?
Bro.
They got that from Overwatch.
No. They got that ball from Jurassic World.
No. The style of the ball, I'll get it from Jurassic World. But if you ever played Overwatch, there's a character out. He's like a little chipmunk, and he rolls around the ball, and he shoots a line, and he sticks to it, and he flies around like that. Same thing.
Okay, first of all,
Literally the
you
exact
can
same
fly
thing.
around in that ball if you plunge it or something.
Yeah, like if you stick to it and you go, you could like
Oh, bro, I was
slingshot.
only using it to like stop myself.
Yeah, no, you like slingshot places. It's wild.
Oh.
Yeah. So
Listen, I own the team. I'm just not. Like I said, I grew up in Ghosts, bro. Like boots on the ground, point and shoot. The rest of the shit is insane.
small little side note here, Overwatch had their comp scene like almost immediately off launch, and it did great.
Yeah, but Overwatch isn't.
It's still going, and it's
battle
still pretty
royale.
big. It's not a battle royale.
It's a FPS, and you know what Overwatch? You know who runs the Overwatch competitive scene? Blizzard. You know who runs the Call of Duty competitive scene? Blizzard. So, Overwatch was able to hit with a competitive scene right away because of Call of Duty, because it's already established. There is no competitive battle royale established. Even, I mean, people are always comparing it to CSGO because CSGO is, I don't know, technically a battle royale.
CS:GO,
But I don't even think
spawn
you.
with guns.
Yeah,
buy
but
your
you
weapons.
can loot. You can buy. And so, but CS:GO, that game's been around for like 15 years. Probably not that long. Feels like it. I think it's been around since like 2009.
2010, but Counter-Strike Source was way before that.
Yeah, Counter-Strike.
And then
Counter-Strike
and then
itself has been
1.6.
around since like Windows 98,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
But
Fun fact,
They
though,
still don't have
Counter-Strike Source or CS:GO flopped hard when it came out too.
oh yeah,
Hard.
yeah, and then it reflopped once all the betting stuff happened.
It went from a belly flop to fucking.
To the game to play. I remember watching Matt and Scump play CS:GO, and then all the stuff with betting came out and how everything was damn near rigged,
yeah.
and CS:GO flopped again, and now CS:GO is just a meme. Like when people approach me, and this is for everybody to know, and no offense, everybody has their own games. You know, there's people out there who wish we had a competitive Donkey Kong 64, like. But if you approach me about, yeah, I mean, you could have speedrun trials. Like, there's competitive Tetris, bro.
Well, competitive Donkey Kong.
Yeah, of course.
I
You
would
could
play
have-
the shit out of
You
that.
could have
I'm not gonna lie
a
to
you could have a competitive Donkey Kong seeing who can collect the most. I don't know, bananas. I never really played Donkey Kong. I don't know why I'm trying to fucking put this microphone in my mouth. I never really played Donkey Kong, so my little tip is broken on this one. So when you do finally move it, it kind of freaks out. But I mean, the point being is that there's no set competitive scene for battle royales yet, and so also now I'm gonna have to change the screen changing on this one to complaining about battle royales because it was supposed to be the League of Legends segment, but we got off on
That's
a little
true.
bit of a tangent. So
No, you know what? I think at the end of the day, it's just competitive players being who they are, extremely competitive, and
yeah, everybody
super
wants a
grindy,
competitive scene right
super
away for
grindy,
something, but
yeah.
nobody wants to put in the work.
Yeah, everybody's super grindy and super whiny, man. And that's honestly any competitor player I've ever
It's
met.
in any competition ever.
Yeah.
That people whine about the NFL and the NBA, and it's just people.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, let's cut to the league segment, and then we'll do probably 10 minutes on that, and then we'll cut out.
Cool. Yeah, I think your camera just died. Did you hear it?
Yeah.
Telling you, dude, if I had the Logitech Brio, it'd be going nonstop. Quality would be 1/8 of it, but hey.
All right, so League of Legends. I don't know what's going on with my camera. So I might have to get up, and we'll make we'll make Mark talk about something he doesn't really know about for a little bit. But
let's do that.
You know, when we talk about competitive and when you talk about esports, it's not a conversation that you can have without League of Legends. It's $1 billion a year. $1 billion. That's $1 billion with a B.
B.
A B. $1 billion. And you know what's crazy?
Billion.
That's 1%.
Mm-hmm.
1%. Video games themselves, $140 billion a year industry. And yet, esports is $1 billion? 1%? That's insane. That just shows you how much growth is there.
Yep.
And so, you know, when we talk Fortnite, Apex, Call of Duty, what they've done, League they're the first esports thing to introduce franchising, first of all. And that was huge. That they're now the NFL of esports. They introduced franchising. You bought your way into being a team, and now you're there forever. And they're starting other regions, and every region will franchise eventually. And you know, it's crazy. But League is also a worldwide game, and I think that's why they're so much bigger. Where, I mean, you know, Fortnite does, you know, you got some Europeans and maybe some Koreans and stuff that play it, but it's not like it is with League. Like the skill gap between Korea, EU, and NA is huge. And so
I've seen that meme of that guy smacking some dude with his foot. You ever seen that?
Oh yeah,
playing like Dota, or I don't know what
he's playing. Dota.
Yeah. All right.
It's but I mean, League is just a crazy new monster. But also, they're at that point now too, where it's, first of all, they've only done 2 leagues in League, and it's what they call Clash, and they both sucked. Riot, get your shit together. Your Clash sucked. I've heard. I wasn't allowed to play because I was banned. But
all right,
it sucked. But you know, they do like Twitch rivals, and like they do a lot of stuff for the streaming scene, and then they have their pro scene, and obviously those are very different skill levels. You know, a lot of the streamers are ex-pros before, you know, they're pros, but they're none of the guys that played since League has been a real team.
Is he good?
I mean, I think he's like Diamond 4. So, yeah.
Is that good?
I mean, it's like 0.02% of League players, yeah. Like, but then there's Masters, Grandmasters, and Challenger, and he's not in that. So, Tyler 1 is just an entirely different monster. Honestly, Tyler 1, in my opinion, is the nade shot of League.
Yeah.
Like, not that he's actually making the game any better, but he's kind of the face of League, you know, and that's just proof there that you don't know anything about League, but you know who T1 is.
Yeah, exactly.
And, you know, Tyler, honestly, though, after he got banned, he did start to look at things a lot different. He hosted his own tournaments. Like, he did a lot of good stuff, and that's one of the things where I don't understand where League hasn't caught up yet, is they need to have an amateur scene. They need to have something like League play, and where, you know, right now they have what's called scouting grounds, and they, you know, Riot chooses from solo queue people and streamers to come actually try out for teams and such. And that's cool. But in essence, what they're saying there is that if you're not a streamer and you don't have a big name kind of backing you up, you're never going to make it to the pro scene. And in today's world, you can't just be good at the game to be successful streaming. And
unfortunately,
but also vice versa. The weird part is that you can suck at every game you play and still have massive viewers. Like
Tim the Tatman?
Yeah, or like me.
Shots at Tim.
Like,
Tim's good. He's all right.
Like, if I play, when I streamed Fortnite, like, I'm garbage, literal garbage. I lose to my 8-year-old.
Hey, they're the best players in the
Okay,
game. So.
first of all, yeah, that kid is insane. But he smashes me. And I was still getting 30, 35, 40 people watching. And I suck. But I'm just entertaining, in my opinion, and, apparently theirs, Or when I was doing Minecraft YouTube, fucking shouts to the old days before I woke up and sounded like a glow stick for the first 2 hours of life, when I could work all day and then record Minecraft videos at night and edit them and YouTube. I was working with, and it sucks so bad, bro, because I was working with a lot of these guys who are at the top of the food chain now. I worked with Noe, Real English Gamer, Wells Knight. We did a whole series, Diamond Wolf, and Dire Wolf was his name, not Diamond Wolf, my bad. But now those guys are all millions of viewers, and we were all steadily gaining, but I was just at that point where my marketing company was taking off, and the team that I had for the Minecraft stuff wasn't the best. I had one guy, shout out to Austin, who, McCheese, not the other one, who actually did something, and then everybody else was just kind of I don't know, I don't want to name drop, but the rest of you guys sucked. Not that they were bad at the game, because it's pretty hard to be bad at Minecraft.
Yeah,
but
all right, people are bad at Minecraft.
Minecraft's the first battle royale. We were talking about that earlier. Hunger Games is the reason that Fortnite exists. But it was rough, and I wish I had stuck to it. I wish Austin and I could have stuck to it. But YouTube, Twitch, it's a young man's game, honestly, and we were both just old. We have kids. It's hard to keep up with it. It's expensive. That's not as much now, but back then, like I was telling you earlier, I have a 750 Ti in my computer that I used to stream off of, and it was $700 when I bought it.
Mm-hmm. And now there's a $180 graphics card that's almost twice as good.
Yeah, and you had to do that every year, and you had to have more than one. You could not just stream off one graphics card. I had a separate,
Yeah, back then, man, they were bad. The PC I had was terrible, and it was about $1,300.
Yeah, and it was the top of the line, and it's crazy to look at this technology is fucking insane, bro. And that's one of the things as an esports org that we look at, especially with League of Legends. The good thing right now, which is in my opinion so weird, is Fortnite, Apex, League. These are all games that can still be played on the world's shittiest computer.
For some weird reason. Yep.
I was watching a streamer the other day that reached out to us. And one of the things he does is he tests games on older stuff. So he has Windows 10 installed in a 1999 HP with, I think he has, I want to say 2 gigs of memory. He has 4 gigs of memory in it. So it's not exactly the same because the games do require a little bit more, but he puts basically a stock HP with an upgraded motherboard and memory and he can play League, he's playing Fortnite, and it's insane. Because when I was doing Minecraft and stuff, you could barely play Minecraft on a shitty computer. And Minecraft's just a bunch of blocks. I couldn't imagine. But now it's we have all this new stuff, and it's more affordable, and graphics cards are way better, and these games don't need any of it anymore. The only thing realistically I think you really need to play games well is RAM. A decent processor always helps, but RAM, I think, is the most important. And that's also insane. My computer, I was telling you, I have 2 16 gig sticks, and that was insane for when I put them in that computer. And now 64 gigs is starting to be kind of the standard.
Yeah, I have 32 in mine.
And it's yo, why? And then you've got 32 gigs plus how many gigs of memory does your graphics card have? Probably another 8, 12, 6 something. I think it goes in increments of 4. Man, I used to be so guy. Like I said, my dad owned a computer repair shop. I used to have a shop up here where I fixed computers. And now I can't even fix my blue screen to death myself. I don't know. I'm just buying a new computer. Like, it's too complicated anymore. Like, and honestly, it's just not even worth it anymore. Everything's so cheap now.
It's
not worth fixing it. Like,
yeah,
our streaming laptop over here, shops to HP and Amazon for the laptop. Our streaming laptop, I think retail $400.
That's what I was gonna say about $400.
So if it breaks, like let's say
two
of the memory
fix the screen
sticks.
is probably gonna be $80-$90.
Oh,
$100.
that screen, $120, $140 easy.
That's a quarter of the price.
Or like one of the memory sticks go bad. You know, it's a laptop, so you can't just pull off the sides and change the memory. You know, some of them now I guess it's a little bit easier, but the memory probably $300. Why wouldn't I just buy a new laptop? Because when that memory goes bad in a year and a half, 2 years, for $400, I can buy a laptop that's got more memory than I'm even able to put in this one, and is brand new for almost the same price. So, computer repair has definitely died. Custom computers, and listen, guys, here's one of the things that RBL's announcing relatively soon, but we are going to, not me, obviously, and not Mark, double obviously. Are going to be doing it, but we are going to offer custom gaming rigs. So we've got a couple partnerships coming through that we're finalizing, and I've got a guy that I've been friends with since 2 months after I moved to Denver when I lit my apartment on fire.
Nice.
And that's a story for another time. I'll have to tell you that. I'm not saying it on the podcast because it is embarrassing, but I'll tell you after. It's crazy that. I don't know. It's one of those, like, planned things, though, because I made some of my best friends in my life from lighting my house on fire and almost killing my child. Yeah, because he was asleep in the room.
Hey,
and it was all smoky, and I was like, whew, rough, bro. But
close one door and set it aflame, and then another door opens.
Yeah, I set my deck on fire is what it was. So I was living in all right, I'm going to just tell the story real quick. So I was living in an apartment. I was outside smoking. It's Denver. Don't judge me. And I don't know. I was like, I want to say it was like May because it was right before his birthday. And so it's a little windy, you know, and I threw it out and put it in the ashtray. And I guess the wind kept it going. And so then the ashtray lit on fire, and then it was next to the wall. So instead, it didn't actually light the outside of the wall on fire. It got underneath the piece on the outside, the siding, and then it lit the insulation in the wall on fire.
Wow. So
like from where I was at, sitting in the living room, my son was taking a nap in the master bedroom on my bed. Where I was out in the living room, you couldn't tell. It wasn't like the deck was on fire or anything. And then once that siding finally caught fire and I noticed it, I immediately like ran in to get my kid. But for probably 10 minutes, that room was just filled with smoke because the walls were on fire. And
oh my God.
You know, so I had to call the fire department. Like they had to cut open like 90% of the apartment walls to get the fire out, and then turn off like all the other. And we only lived there maybe 2 months, so I didn't know any of my neighbors. Like, and it was a brand new newborn. My wife wasn't home, like, and we had a dog that we weren't supposed to have. So when the people from the apartments came down to check out the fire, I think
that's like every resident.
All of my neighbors were downstairs, you know, and so I was like, hey, you know, like I know I don't know you guys, but will you hold this dog for a second so I don't get in trouble? And then I found out my neighbors liked Yu-Gi-Oh! And my downstairs neighbor was an old Army buddy. And shouts to that guy. He actually passed away from terrible VA care, which is not an esports or gaming issue, but
it's an issue, though.
It's an issue. And, like I said, I met some of my best friends by lighting my deck on fire. So it's crazy. And you know, I don't know. Back to Lee.
So moral of the story, light your deck on fire to make new friends.
That's not the moral of the story. You're going to get me sued, bro. Somebody's going to go out and just fucking Why'd you light your deck on fire? Listen, RBL told me it would make me friends.
I was lonely, man.
Yeah, it didn't.
I wanted to meet somebody else who plays Yu-Gi-Oh.
Listen, if you don't have friends, hit us up on Instagram. We'll be your friends. Don't light your deck on fire.
No.
Just don't, like, honestly, if we're being real, don't take any advice from Mark.
All right.
But.
Okay. Oh, boy.
No, I mean, why, though? Like, why would they take it, like, why would they take advice, bro? You look like you wait outside of elevator doors for people to get into the hotel.
I'm just gonna hold back everything I want to say.
No, bro. Listen, it's okay. You know, they could take your advice if they want to. It's not, you know, I don't know. It's you look like the dude who like checks people into a hotel, bro. But you do have that swaggy hoodie on, you know. That's pretty nice.
Man.
Yeah.
I got it from this guy. He owns a biz.
Yeah, he pretends to know what he's talking about all the time.
Most of the time.
Yeah, pretty much. I just made it through an hour and a half on a podcast, and I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Hey, we made it through it, though.
Yeah, so anyway, back to League. I mean, back up, bro. League
I was
is
in your
just
Kool-Aid, bro. Chill out, man.
It's a crazy League is crazy. It's like the face of esports right now, and it's kind of overtaking Call of Duty, but they're making the same mistakes too. They don't focus on competitive play, but then sometimes they do with their patches, and it totally like shits on normal play. Like honestly, League is one of the few games. Like every game, obviously, there's a difference in competitive play versus public play, but for League, I feel like it's two different games, man. The way that the pros play versus how you play in solo queue, it's totally different. Like you will never find a solo queue game that looks even remotely close to a pro game, even in Challenger. It's just not solo queue. It's just they're two different games. So when you patch something for pros or nerf something because it was good in pro, maybe it didn't see really any play in public side except for like the few like one tricks or people who really liked it, you know. And that really hurts some stuff, you know. Like for a while there was this thing in League called Banner of Command, and you'd put it on a minion and it would make it virtually unkillable. Like it gave it like 10x health and immunity to magic damage, and you would put it on and it would push a lane for you, and the towers couldn't kill it very fast because it had the additional health. And in pro play, it was insane. Like that was all anybody was playing, and so they took it out. But in solo queue, it didn't see. I mean, it saw play, but it wasn't as detrimental because in solo queue, you could just have somebody in that lane stopping the banner minion. But in pro play, this was when split pushing wasn't really a thing, and all 5 people had to be grouped, because when you lose one person, you know, in any team-based game, you know, in Apex, when it's 2v3, you know, it's a lot harder than if it was 3v3. Unless you're playing with me, and then 3v3 is still a 2v3. I'm gonna die right away. And Jason. You know. I don't know. At the social, though, Jason was doing all right.
Yeah, he did good.
But I know when I watched you guys stream, I think it was that day before the social, on that Monday when you were playing with, I don't remember who the other guy was. No shout out. What the fuck was?
The guy that I met at the...
Yeah.
Oh, Brandon?
I don't know. What is his gamer tag?
Filth.
Yeah.
Filth GG. Filth,
yeah.
GG Filth.
When you guys were playing, Jason was basically in my shoes, where he was just getting murked every
Pretty
game.
much, yeah.
So, but League is just, it's a crazy game. I think you should try it. I think you should play it.
I have played it, actually. I played the best character in the game.
Did you play Gary?
You want to guess? Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's one of the things that I think League has done really well to a point. They made it really hard to be able to play ranked now, because you have to get to level 30 and have 20 champions. And I mean, it's not overly hard. You can definitely buy your way into ranked right away. Like, I've been banned so many times that I have to level up accounts constantly. But I am toxic as fuck. I get so frustrated so easy. It's why I don't stream, though, especially as a business owner. Like, some of the stuff I say cannot be out in public. But no, I think you would like it. Definitely. Because it fits your wheelhouse a little bit. It is entirely a skill-based game. And you can, all the way up until probably like gold 1 into plat. And even some of plat, diamond, and challenger, like you can carry the team on your back. Plus, it's probably the only game out there that I'm 100% better than you at. So we can actually stream together. I mean, no, I think I am going to pick up some streaming stuff soon. I mean, we got all this podcast equipment, so I've got the microphone and the cameras now. I might as well utilize them when I'm not ready.
Yeah, these cameras will look great on stream. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, so I'd have to get a external recorder though, because DSLR is in.
Like an external battery source?
No. I mean, I can plug it into the wall, but DSLRs in the United States can only record 30 minutes, 29 minutes and 29 minutes and 59 seconds of video.
Well, there's this.
So they have like this external recorder where you HDMI it, and then this is never timing like this piece over here.
Oh,
is actually what's recording.
Yeah. I think we're talking about the same thing. It's like some kind of extension that you can get that. It's like a capture card, right?
Yeah, it's a capture card for
the camera.
Yeah, so I'd have to get one of those.
All the big streamers use those.
But those aren't. Yeah, because all the big streamers use DSLRs.
Yep.
Yeah. 100%. It's just a better quality. And then the good part being, and especially for you guys, and as we delve deeper into this RBL stuff, we're still kind of at the start. But as we're able to go do a little bit more things, content creation is such a big part. Doing the daily vlogs or the weekly vlogs. Having that DSLR means that when you're not streaming, it's a dual purpose.
Yeah, speaking of that, that's something that that we should definitely pursue big time, man. As far as like IRL streams, vlogs, event vlogs, dude. There is so much room for content there.
We definitely, because we vlogged the Apex event, and that was going to be kind of the first series in vlogs, but as you know, kind of everything with business relationships and stuff has kind of changed. But no, yeah, I mean, I record. We just did an IRL vlog at the gym yesterday. We posted the behind the scenes fitness shoots.
I seen some of that.
And yeah, I mean, I did an entire series called Road to the G-Wagon, where I vlogged every day for a year, and I started out at $0, and that was I'm going to buy a G-Wagon at the end of the year in cash. And so with RBL, I am doing a lot of behind-the-scenes video. Like, almost everything is recorded. Like, we did some recording at the social, but there's still a lot that I have to get in place before I even start, because I really want to focus on what it takes to build the esports org. And but there's still a lot of stuff I have to get in place. But yeah, we're going to start definitely a lot more vlogs. And if you have the DSLR for the stream, you can just pop it off and take it with you to vlog, and that's always really good. And then having the external microphone, a separate streaming computer, those are all big. But I think I touched on everything that I wanted to talk about. Is there anything you think we missed or should talk about?
I think that we hit everything. And by everything I mean Aaron hitting his phone on the table face first.
Oh,
did you crack your screen?
No.
Good.
Buy a new one. And it wouldn't make a dent.
So no, I think that what is in place now is another podcast for another day, and
we have another podcast. This is going to be a weekly podcasting, and maybe we'll have you just bring down, because I only have 2 mics right now. Maybe we'll just have you bring down your mic, and me and Jason will get together. And but yeah, anytime that there's not like a separate guest, we definitely want you in. And if we do it here most of the time, we'll start having you be producer, so we can make sure these cameras don't keep dying.
Yeah.
But cool, guys. I mean, I appreciate you guys tuning in and listening. Hopefully we didn't ramble for too long on anything. I'll leave timestamps in the YouTube for each of the different sections. You know, we kind of touched on general, Call of Duty, Battle Royales, and then League of Legends for a little bit, which kind of got off into another tangent. So
Apartment on fire.
Yeah. As we go along, we'll be able to stick a little bit more to sections and not get off on these tangents. But also, I mean, for me, you know, this podcast is a way for me to connect with you guys. I know I had a ton of Instagram questions that I didn't answer that I just don't have time for. So I'll answer them on the next one. But for me, it's a way to connect with you guys and everybody who's supporting us. But then also from an owner perspective, it's a good way for me to sit down with my content creators, my streamers, my pros, and really just talk. You know, and that's in essence what a podcast is. It's just a couple people talking. And as an owner and a manager and a boss, that's something I really take pride in, that I'm very involved in the company and very open. And so I think of these podcasts, you know, yeah, we're going to have topics and subjects that we really want to talk about, but we're going to get off on tangents, you know, and I think that builds a better community too, is we're all building something together here. And without all of you, I mean, I'm great at business, but without all of you guys, like, I wouldn't have a company. So and without all of you guys, I mean, he wouldn't exist. Well, he would probably exist, but
I would be gone. I wouldn't be here.
He wouldn't be streaming. There wouldn't be Twitch. None of this would be able to happen. So anyway, I guess I don't know how to outro a podcast. You just like stop talking, or do you have an actual outro?
We just pretend to talk, and then you mute the sound.